There is a moment that happens quietly in almost every home gardener moment, so small you barely notice it to bend down you. See a rough-looking plant breaking through your soil. It does not look special, it does not look valuable. In fact, it looks like a mistake, something that does not belong. So without thinking, you grab it and you pull it out, and just like that, you might have destroyed something your body has been silently needing, because the truth is not everything that grows wild is useless. Not everything that looks rough is harmful, and not everything that we call a weed is actually a weed. Some of them are medicines, some of them are nutritions, some of them are healing in its purest form. And today, you are about to discover something most people never realize. There are plants growing around you right now, in your backyard, in empty plots along the roadside, even between cracks in concrete, plants that have been used for centuries, trusted by generations, and slowly forgotten in the modern world. This is not about one plant, this is about four powerful plants that people pull out every day without realizing they are throwing away something incredibly valuable. But here is the important part: knowing these plants is not enough, because even when people recognize them, they still use them wrong, and that is where the real problem begins. Because a powerful plant used incorrectly becomes useless and sometimes even harmful. So stay with me, because by the end of this you will never look at these plants the same way again. The first plant is something you have definitely seen before.
Little one, let's
may have
find you a
even
new
pulled it out
home.
yourself. It grows low to the ground with jagged
All
green
settled
leaves
in.
and bright yellow flowers that almost look like little suns. Most people see it as a nuisance, something that spreads too fast, something that ruins the clean look of a garden, so they remove it immediately. But what if I told you this plant has been used for generations to support digestion, to help the liver, and to gently cleanse the body? Every part of it has valued: the leaves, the flowers, even the roots. And yet most people make one critical mistake: they either ignore it completely or they use it without understanding timing, because this plant changes its strength depending on when you pick it. Young leaves are mild, slightly bitter, perfect for gentle use, but older leaves become too strong, too harsh, and that is when people sit. Does not work, but it is not the plant that failed, it is the way it was used. And that is the pattern you will start noticing. The second plant looks even more ordinary. It grows flat across the ground with small oval leaves and thin stems that spread quietly. You might step on it every day without even realizing, but this plant has been used for centuries, especially for calming the body, for supporting internal balance, and for soothing irritation. It does not look powerful, it does not demand attention, but its strength is in its subtlety, and yet most people miss its true potential because they either overuse it or they expect instant results. But natural healing does not work like that. This is not a pill, this is not a quick fix. This is something that works slowly, gently, and deeply, and if you rush it to, will never see its real effect. Now the third plant is one of the most misunderstood. It grows tall with long, narrow leaves and a strong presence. Many people actually fear it because they have heard it can be harmful, and they are not completely wrong, because this plant is powerful, and power always comes with responsibility. Used correctly, it has been valued for supporting the body in multiple ways, but used incorrectly it can create problems, and this is exactly why knowledge matters, because fear makes people avoid it and ignorance makes people misuse it. But understanding, that is where the real value is. Knowing when to use it, how much to use, and how to prepare it, that is what separates harm from healing. And now the fourth plant, this one is everywhere. It grows fast, it spreads quickly, and most people consider it the ultimate weed. They remove it aggressively, sometimes even using chemicals just to get rid of it. But what they do not realize is that this plant has been used for generations as a source of nutrition, rich, simple, and accessible, something that does not need packaging, does not need marketing, not need approval, because nature already designed it perfectly. And in today's world, people spend money looking for health in bottles while pulling it out of their own soil. But here is where things become even more important, because just knowing these plants exist is not enough. You need to understand something deeper. Nature does not work in extremes. More is not always better, faster is not always stronger, and natural does not always mean safe in every situation. Every plant has a rhythm, a timing, a balance. On when you ignore that, you lose its true benefit. This is why some people try natural remedies and say they do not work, not because the plants are ineffective, but because the approach is wrong. They use too much or too little. They use it at the wrong time or in the wrong way, and then they blame the plant. But nature is precise. It responds to consistency, to patience, to understanding. And once you align with that, everything changes. You start noticing small shifts. Your body feels lighter, your energy becomes more stable, your system starts working with you instead of against you. But it does not happen overnight, and that is the part most people struggle with, because we live in a world of instant results. But natural healing is not about speed, it is about depth, and once you experience that, you realize something powerful. Health was never far away, it was always around you, growing, quietly waiting to be understood. So, the next time you walk into your garden or pass by an empty patch of land, pause for a moment, look closely, because what you see as a weed might actually be something valuable, something your body recognizes even if your mind does not. But remember this, do not rush to use everything you see. Take time to learn, to understand, to respect what you are working with, because the goal is not just to use plants, the goal is to use them correctly, and that is where the real power lies. So, before you pull that plant out, ask yourself one simple question: what if this is not useless? What if this is not useless? What if this is something I have been ignoring? Something valuable, something worth more than I ever realized? Because sometimes, the things we overlook the most are the ones that matter the most.